This is World News Tonight, Saturday.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Woodruff. There are new developments in the Terri Schiavo case tonight. Once again, a Florida judge has turned down her parents' appeal to keep her alive. She has been 8 days now without food or water. That's our top story tonight, but first, the day's other headlines. U.S. guards in Iraq find a 600-foot tunnel under the country's biggest prison. They believe they either stopped an escape or an attack. More and more seniors are going bankrupt, living their golden years in the red. Answers in our Money Watch tonight about how to reduce the debt. And 3 months after the tsunami, the rebuilding, the hope, and the boy whose song is healing a community wiped out by the waves. We begin tonight with Terri Schiavo's final days and her parents who remain defiant despite one legal setback after another. Today, a state judge refused to order the 41-year-old woman's feeding tube reinserted. ABC's Mike Von Fremd is in Pinellas Park, Florida, with the latest. Mike?
Good evening, Bob. As you said, the parents remain defiant, despite suffering another devastating defeat in court today. They are appealing their daughter's case yet again and begging Governor Jeb Bush to do what the courts have not, save their daughter.
Though she's been without food or water for 8 days, her father, who's been at Terri Schiavo's bedside today, says his daughter is doing remarkably well.
She is fighting like hell to stay alive. And I want the powers that be to know that. It's not too late to save her.
Today, Florida Circuit Court Judge George Greer rejected the parents' latest appeal after family members and attorneys told the judge they all heard Terri make sounds indicating she wants to live. Her aunt says she was in the hospice room during the emotional moment.
I said, Terri, if you could only say, I want to live. And Terri went, "Aye," very loudly.
In rejecting the family's appeal, Judge Greer wrote, all the medical evidence this court has received over the last 5 years is that this is not a cognitive response. The judge himself has received threats. And last night, the FBI arrested a man and charged him with putting a $250,000 bounty on husband Michael Schiavo's head. Protesters here are angry and showing their frustration.
She deserves to live. She's committed no crime.
Every hour that Terri clings to consciousness is a testimony of her desire to live. And it's an indictment against those who have the power to save her and don't.
Governor Jeb Bush, who wants the feeding tube reattached, says he simply does not have the authority to act, and constitutional experts agree.
The problem here is that most of the relevant law is constitutional law, and so to get around constitutional law, you're going to have to change the Constitution, and the governor can't do that all by himself.
While the desperate fight is going on outside the hospice, an attorney from Michael Schiavo, who visited Terri in her room today, says the brain-damaged woman now appears peaceful and remarkably healthy, adding that, in his opinion, her death is not imminent. Bob?
Mike Von Fremd, many thanks. And for the latest on Terri Schiavo's case, including her story and pictures, log on to abcnews.com. Well, as we all know, this controversy has moved far beyond Terri Schiavo's family. It's gone as high as the U.S. Congress and the White House. I asked ABC's George Stephanopoulos today whether there will be any lasting political implications.
Well, there's some early indications. Right now, we know from the ABC News poll earlier in the week that about 70% of the public thought that Congress had no right to get involved in this kind of a personal matter, family matter. Also, one poll, USA Today poll, showing that President Bush's approval rating dropped about 7 points over the last week as this was debated. Now, it's hard to say that that is directly connected to this case, but it was in the news over the course of this week. The big question is, what will happen to those feelings over time?
Do you expect to see any new federal legislation coming out of this, any new law on the right to die, for example?
Not in this next year. No, I don't think so. Remember, the House at first did try to pass a more broad piece of legislation, one that didn't apply only to Terri Schiavo. There was no way they were going to get that through the Senate. And I think at least in the short run, enough Republicans and Democrats are reading those polls to say, we don't want to get near this for the next year.
George Stephanopoulos, as always, many thanks. George will have more on the fallout from the Terri Schiavo case tomorrow and this week. His guests will include Congressman Barney Frank and Dave Weldon. Now to Iraq, where a car bomb hit a U.S. military patrol in Baghdad today, killing 2 U.S. soldiers and wounding 2 others. The military also said a Marine was killed in action yesterday in Anbar province. Further south, it appears there was almost a major escape at the biggest detention center in Iraq. Prison guards discovered secret tunnels under Camp Bucca. ABC's Martha Raddatz has details from coalition headquarters at Camp Victory near Baghdad.
The military is still trying to determine how many detainees may have been planning an escape and how many were involved in digging the elaborate tunnels. The longest one was 600 feet.
It was a very large number to remove the dirt and the spoil and for a tunnel of that length.
The prisoners fashioned shovels out of whatever scraps they could find. They cut up a 5-gallon gas can attached to a rope to haul the dirt out of the hole. The entry point inside the compound had been covered with a false floor. The exit point was outside the concertina wire that surrounds the largest detention center in Iraq. To hide the excess dirt, the detainees were flushing it down the portable toilets. But that's how the soldiers became suspicious. The filters were constantly clogging with dirt. But tonight, the commander of forces in Iraq, Lieutenant General John Vines, told ABC News that he is not ruling out the possibility that the prisoners were planning something other than an escape.
We have to at least assume that there may be an attempt to do something dramatic, to smuggle weapons in so they could attack guards, inflict casualties.
In January, the detainees attacked prison guards at Camp Bucca with makeshift weapons during a prison riot. The riot was so out of control, 4 prisoners were killed by the guards. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Camp Victory, Iraq.
And in Afghanistan, 4 U.S. soldiers were killed today when their vehicle hit a mine. The military says they were out scouting for sites for a potential shooting range south of Kabul. It wasn't clear if the mine had been placed recently or whether it was left over from decades of war. Still ahead on World News Tonight Saturday, struggling seniors, why so many retirees are drowning in debt. In our back-to-back series, the lab on the verge of making human cells to treat disease, and how this young boy is helping his village heal 3 months after the tsunami.
This is World News Tonight Saturday, brought to you by Lamisil tablets.
Hello? Remember me? I'm Digger, the dermatophyte, your nail infection. You may have tried to get me with these over-the-counter surface treatments, but I live deep under your nails. I made myself at home down here, and I'm not leaving. I may even spread out to other nails. I mean, would you look at this view?
If you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails, over-the-counter surface treatments might not reach the infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil tablets. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, under the nail. In fact, you may start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do a simple blood test. Other side effects, including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash, were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. It could be your solution. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
For you, my sweet. I see you are overcome with love. Or could it be congestion and other seasonal nasal allergy symptoms? Your congestion will not keep us apart.
Only Nasonex is clinically proven to both treat and help prevent most seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, including congestion. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
Love means never having to say you are congested.
To treat and help prevent most seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, Nasonex is the one. Talk to your doctor.
Cholesterol. It comes buttered, battered, basted, and roasted. But it also comes from Mom, Dad, Grandma Rose, and Grandpa Joe. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the 2 sources of cholesterol, food and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin lowers bad cholesterol 45 to 60%. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Continue to follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the two sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
Sunday, on the holiest day of the year for Christians worldwide, the Archbishop of Washington, Cardinal McCarrick, comes to This Week to talk candidly about Terri Schiavo and the passionate battle over life, death, and faith that's divided the nation. Only on This Week, Sunday.
In tonight's Money Watch, the financial troubles of the nation's elderly. Some are using credit cards to make ends meet, but that can be very risky. Over the past decade, Americans between the ages of 65 and 69 saw their credit card debt increase by 217%. Here's ABC's Gigi Stone.
Rick Rude.
Clara and Charles Unruh have lived in their Philadelphia home for nearly 50 years, and now they could lose it.
This bank one was $3,000.
Yeah, that's a small one.
They're so heavily in debt, they were forced to put the house up for collateral. It's effectively known as a reverse mortgage.
I wish we had never heard of credit cards. I wish they'd never invented them.
The Unruhs are both in their 70s. They're struggling to pay creditors $100,000, and they're not alone.
This right here is the growth of credit card debt.
According to a recent study by researcher Tamara Drought, the average debt of retirees has jumped nearly 90% over the past decade.
A lot of seniors in this country are living primarily on Social Security, and so when they're on fixed incomes and they see something like health care costs rise, they have nowhere else to turn than credit cards. They really are becoming sort of a private safety net.
There are other factors contributing to the increase in debt. Longer life expectancies, higher housing costs, and a credit card industry that's willing to loan to almost anyone.
Seniors get lured in by the 0% pre-approved teaser rates in the mail, even if they have low incomes or poor credit histories, not realizing they have hidden fees tacked on.
And being in the red has serious repercussions.
I hope we're going to be able to learn how to be more responsible using the credit cards. I don't think it's possible for us ever to give them up.
The Unruhs say they're down from 8 credit cards to 1. They say that's all they can do and hope it's enough. Gigi Stone, ABC News, Philadelphia.
Let's turn now to our financial contributor, Melody Hobson in Chicago. Melody, I don't think many people have heard this term reverse mortgages before. What are they, and do you think that they're a good idea?
They actually are a very good idea, particularly for seniors who are homeowners and need supplemental income. Basically, with a reverse mortgage, you're selling your home, or more specifically, the equity in your home, to your bank over time. You get a steady monthly check, and in return, the bank pays itself back by selling your house upon the death of the last surviving spouse.
So I suppose the downside would be at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you no longer own your house.
Yeah, the one downside is your kids won't inherit your house. And for some people who have a lot of sentimental value in their house, that's something that they don't like.
Melody, I imagine you see a lot of this in your practice out there. What do you tell older people about how to avoid going into debt while they're in retirement?
Well, certainly the number one thing is you've got to be very, very careful about the credit cards and really limit it to one credit card. That's it, which it seems like an easy thing, but the average American has 8 credit cards. Beyond that, there are a couple of other things you can do to stay out of this situation. First and foremost, it's not popular, but consider retiring later. A few years makes a huge difference. Not only will you be able to save more and your money be able to compound itself faster, you also will have a huge difference in your Social Security payment. The difference between retiring at 62 and 70 is about $800 a month extra in Social Security income. Secondly, take advantage of something called the catch-up provision. President Bush put that in place because he was concerned that baby boomers weren't going to be adequately prepared for retirement. It allows those who are 50 years old and older to contribute more than the general population to their IRA or their 401k plan.
All right, so work longer and save more. Hard reality. As always, Melody Hobson, many thanks. And 2 items from overseas. In Taiwan today, about 1 million people marched through the capital, Taipei. Some carried signs reading, "Shame on China." They were demonstrating against a new Chinese law authorizing an attack on Taiwan if it moves toward formal independence. And in Monaco tonight, the country is bracing for what doctors say could be a worsening situation. Pessimistic reports about the health of Prince Rainier. He is Europe's longest ruling monarch, but doctors are now calling his prognosis extremely reserved. He was married to film star Grace Kelly, who died in an auto crash in 1982. The prince is suffering from a respiratory infection complicated by heart and kidney problems. When we return, the scientist seeking to clone human cells to cure his own children.
Comfort, joy, hope, and peace. Few songs in our lives have the power of hymns. Now you can bring this inspirational music into your home and life every day with 50 Most Loved Hymns, a new 2-CD collection. Call now to order 50 Most Loved Hymns, a moving 2-CD collection of songs filled with hope and inspiration for only $21.98. 50 magnificent hymns, just as you remember them. These are the hymns you've known and cherished through the years. Classics like Amazing Grace, Rock of Ages, Just As I Am, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, and many more. 50 Most Loved Hymns, a timeless collection for all ages. Call now to order 50 Most Loved Hymns on 2 CDs for only $21.98 plus $4.95 shipping and handling, or order online at tvatlas.com. Rush delivery available. Call now.
Good news for those with arthritis pain. Reports are out about an independent government panel, according to the New York Times.
Several panel members said that patients in need of pain relief should first try naproxen, sold as Aleve.
Forbes.com says,
the committee considered naproxen to be the safest NSAID from a cardiovascular standpoint.
Dow Jones Newswires writes, one member said,
naproxen is probably one of the safer pain medications on the market.
Ask your doctor about the good news. Ask your doctor about Aleve.
The Wonderful World of Disney presents an incredible adventure beyond your wildest imagination.
Who knows what will happen next?
Little House on the Prairie, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
In our back-to-back series tonight, the friction between medical advances and the sanctity of life. While the controversy over Terri Schiavo is attracting most of the public's attention, a quieter debate about stem cells and cloning is getting more heated. This month, Harvard gave preliminary approval for its researchers to begin cloning human cells, and they showed us how it would be done. These are all human stem cells?
These are all human stem cells growing.
In this tiny room at Harvard, Dr. Doug Melton has developed 28 varieties of human stem cells, more than any other lab in the world.
Each one of those little spindly things is a cell.
Really?
The difference between them and normal cells is these have this potential to grow indefinitely and to become anything.
Become any kind of human tissue, nerve, muscle, heart, and that could change the face of medicine, leading to cures for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, spinal cord injuries. It's a long list. For Dr. Melton, it's personal. 2 of his children have juvenile diabetes.
It's not just a matter of doing the science because it's interesting or fun. I'm doing this because I want to try to cure this disease.
But there's a catch. Some people believe what he's doing is unethical, because to get stem cells for his research, he has to destroy a tiny human embryo, a hollow sphere smaller than the head of a pin.
The desire to provide cures is a good desire, and the problem is the means that are being chosen here.
Father Tat Paholchik is a priest and a scientist.
And this idea that you make life precisely for the reason of destroying it, that's always an immoral kind of medicine.
we're not talking about a real person. At most, it's a potential or possible person.
Arthur Kaplan is an ethicist on the other side.
It seems to me morally cruel to try and hold an equation between real people who have sickness, real people who have disability, and what's going on in that dish.
Right now, Dr. Melton uses donated embryos left over from fertility clinics. His next step is even more controversial. Very soon, he plans to make cloned embryos, genetic copies of adult cells.
One takes a donor cell, like a cheek cell, and removes the genes or the nucleus from that cell, and then transplants that nucleus into an unfertilized human egg.
That egg then grows into a cloned embryo. Until they begin work on human cells, Dr. Melton and his colleagues are cloning mouse cells.
Those are the chromosomes. You're actually seeing the chromosomes right there.
If we could make cloning technology work, you'd have an unlimited supply of repair cells right from your own body.
What we're talking about here is not cloning people, it's about cloning cells and making more copies of cells.
Scientists distinguish between therapeutic cloning, making cells to treat disease, and reproductive cloning, putting the embryo in a woman's uterus and trying to make a baby.
Reproductive cloning is a completely different thing. All scientists I know are completely opposed to that, and we support legislation to block it and make it illegal.
In fact, most scientists think cloning people will never be safe and may never be possible. Sheep, yes. Cats, just recently. A handful of customers have paid tens of thousands of dollars for a cloned kitten. But in spite of the wild claims of fringe groups,
I am creating life.
It is not possible yet to clone a person. Tomorrow night, the fight over funding. President Bush has barred federal money for most stem cell research, but states and private money have stepped in.
The issue is where is it going to happen, not whether it's going to happen.
The states battle for research dollars. That's tomorrow's back-to-back. In Florida today, there was a public memorial for 9-year-old Jessica Lunsford. You may remember the third grader was killed after being abducted from her home. The suspected killer was a registered sex offender. Her father told those gathered today not to take their children for granted. And in Minnesota today, the first funerals began for the victims of the school massacre at the Red Lake Indian Reservation. 10 people died in the rampage, including the shooter. Hundreds attended the services today. Coming up next, the tsunami survivor and his song.
Pollen, dust, dander, bacteria, viruses, and mold. The Sharper Image Ionic Breeze, the only air purifier in the world that's earned seals from both the British Allergy Foundation and the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America because it's been proven to reduce airborne allergens. According to AC Nielsen, it's America's most trusted brand of air purifier, #1 in customer satisfaction, and the best value for the money.
Since we've been using the Ionic Breeze, it's absolutely solved our problem. I don't see any dust anymore.
With the Breeze, I feel healthier. I really do. I sleep better, and the air is cleaner.
Since I've been using the Ionic Breeze, I notice immediate relief in my breathing.
I wake up in the morning with so much more energy. I feel clear-headed and energized and healthy and happy.
Don't be confused by noisy competitors. Even if they look the same, you could be throwing your money away if you get tricked into buying a cheap imitation. If it doesn't say Sharper Image, it's not a real Ionic Breeze. With patented Xeneon technology to clean and circulate your air with no fans, no filters, silently. Maintenance is easy. Just wipe off the collection grid and slip it back in.
I've tried every air purifier on the market today, and there's only one that meets everyone's needs, and that's the Ionic Breeze.
Order today and we'll give you a $69 bathroom Ionic Breeze. This powerful compact helps bathrooms smell fresh and clean 24 hours a day. And we'll also give you a $39 car Ionic Breeze for cleaner air wherever you go. Try the Ionic Breeze Quadra for 60 days. And if you don't love it, send it back. But keep the bathroom and the car Ionic Breezes over a $100 value as a free gift. Call now and get a free 5-year warranty. And ask about free shipping.
Call 1-800-874-8000. That's 1-800-874-8000.
I swim, I jog. I love junk food. Sometimes even I get
constipation.
X-Lax gives you gentle relief, regular for a little help, and maximum strength too. X-Lax for regular people who sometimes aren't.
Uh-oh, want better allergy relief? Benadryl's proven more effective than the leading allergy medicine at relieving your worst allergy symptoms, like runny nose, sneezing, itchy nose, and watery eyes. Benadryl, proven more effective.
What kind of street do we live on?
Fire up the phone lines.
What?
And tell all your neighbors Housewives is all new.
Think that'll get out?
Oh, sweetie.
That's right, all new.
We're just desperate and they know it.
And all new Desperate Housewives, Sunday night, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Finally tonight, we return to a place that affected many of us very deeply, certainly those of us who covered this story. 3 months ago today, the tsunami in southern Asia turned millions of lives upside down. Nearly 300,000 people are dead or missing. Many survivors are still stunned. As ABC's Dave Marish reports, in Indonesia's hardest-hit region, Aceh province, there are now the beginnings of hope.
A remarkable 12-year-old named Nasser, living at a displaced persons camp for people from an obliterated village on Aceh's west coast, composed this song just days after the tsunami. And virtually every word of it is true. The woman in charge of coordinating aid to Aceh says, take Nasser's story and multiply it by 1 million, and you understand what the tsunami did here.
If you look at a population of 4 million, over 1 million have been affected by this tsunami. This is 25% of the population.
The tsunami shattered everything that had overflowed, and the first process of recovery has been literally to pick up the pieces. The Acehnese have started that process, and many of them are now ready to move on to the next phase. Like these fishermen from another swept-away coastal village near the provincial capital of Banda Aceh, replanting their shoreline mangrove swamp, which is both protection from the sea and a seed bed for the shellfish, which are their livelihood. We planted mangroves for several days, he says, and I already can see some are growing. These villages are being paid under a UN-sponsored Cash for Work program to bring their village back to life. The first time Nasser sang his song for the other village kids in the camp, they all burst into wails and tears. Now, he and they can sing their ordeal together. Mangroves and children are healing in Aceh. Dave Marish, ABC News, Malabo, Indonesia.
It's just wonderful to see them singing again, isn't it? That's World News Tonight this Saturday. Tomorrow on Good Morning America, Kate Snow reports on mega churches. More than places of worship, they're becoming a way of life. I'm Bob Woodruff. Have a good evening. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
In one day, before they can save a life.
I think you know what you're going to feel like standing over that table, but that was such a high.
They must get a life.
We're going to survive this, right?
Grey's Anatomy premieres tomorrow, 10/9 Central, only on ABC.
In the Garden with Mike Darcy, a gardening program for the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. We've reserved a front seat for those who believe in the art of gardening. In the Garden with Mike Darcy, Sunday mornings at 9 on K2, the Spirit of the Northwest. Brought to you in part by All Season Nursery and Black Gold.
Great Floors can take care of all your flooring needs with great products, great selection, and great deals every day. That's no bull. Right now, get high-quality wood flooring for $3.99 a square foot with 12 months same as cash. We also offer 90 days same as cash on all carpet purchases. Plus, get a free 3x5 area rug with any purchase of $1,000 or more. Great Floors, home of the no bull deal. Stop by today on Northeast 82nd across from Madison High School. We'll see you there. K2 News, the difference is local.
The following program is a paid advertisement for Options Made Easy.
I made about